Hello, I'm Wendy Frados, and I'd like to welcome you to Networking Strategies. Do you ever feel fearful or somewhat intimidated when asked to introduce yourself? If you answered yes, then one reason might be that you're not prepared at the minute that the question was asked. In today's session, we hope to give you the strategies to prepare yourself for all types of networking situations, because we've learned that fear can be overcome with preparation. Being unsure of what to say leads to anxiety. If you prepare what you're going to say to open a conversation before you go to a networking event or even meet with a person one-on-one, your confidence level will rise. So what is networking? Well, today we're going to look at some definitions of networking and discuss what networking is and what it isn't. Probably the most common misinterpretation of networking is that it means asking for a job. Another misconception about networking is that it's something that only is done during the job search. Networking is not just for the job search. Networking is a career management tool. Why do it? Well, statistics have consistently shown networking to be one of the best methods for learning about and landing job opportunities. Where do I do it? Networking is already happening in your life at various levels. You routinely ask people for recommendations for doctors, attorneys. You tell people you meet in the grocery store what you've been up to. Now we'll add to that how to find out about the best opportunities for professional networking, online social networks, meetings, and events, and how to use these to your best advantage. How do I do it? Devote your energy to practice and presentation. Use your networking introduction and learn how to sell yourself. You can be in all the right places, but if your networking presentation is not interesting, you'll never succeed in making people interested in what you can do for them. You need to learn to achieve a relaxed, informal style when you introduce yourself in networking situations. Let's begin with what networking is not. It's not something you do only when you need a job. It's not asking someone if they have a job for you. It's not showing up physically at meetings. It's not creating the best list of people you can think of. It isn't something to be whipped out when you need a favor. It's like flossing your teeth, says Andrea Nierenberg, a New York-based business development consultant and the author of Nonstop Networking. You can't do it once and expect it to work. You have to do it consistently to get results. It takes time to build relationships and for them to bear fruit. You might argue, but I'm unemployed, I need a job right now, I have no time for building relationships. Well, the answer is that you need to make time. A sense of urgency creates desperation, which is a real turnoff. There are several pieces to focus on during this process. First, gathering information, then asking for advice and feedback, and generating leads. When you network to gather information, it's important to remember the more specifically you frame your request, the more likely you are to get a reply from your connections. This means that it's essential to do your own research first so you can ask targeted questions. Once you've identified what your questions are regarding your best career option or industry, then you can network to seek advice and feedback. Finally, network for connections. When you're clear about what you want, then you're ready to target companies and to look for people who can connect you to them. One critical reason for maintaining a network is the importance of referrals when applying for job opportunities. The fact that someone referred you adds additional credibility to your application, both with recruiters and potential hiring managers. Referrals are important because, bottom line, employers prefer to hire someone who's been referred by someone they already know and trust. So start working your existing network to build it out. Who would know the person you need? Contact competitors, customers, vendors, trade associations, academic connections, social connections, conference presenters. These people know experts in their field. Creating this initial list of people is an important first step to start building your network. From this group, you will continue to acquire additional information, gain feedback and advice, and learn about more contacts. If you ask people for the names of at least 2 additional contacts, your network will grow exponentially. Remember, you're not trying to create the biggest list that you can. Your goal is to add people to this list who will be bridges to the right contacts. This is what a connection is. All too often people think that if the person they talk to doesn't immediately connect them with a job lead, then the lead hasn't been valuable. So as you prepare to network, ask yourself, who can be helpful? Each person is a source of unique information, so focus on how that person specifically can be helpful to you. That way it doesn't feel like you're developing your network just to add additional names to your list. Networking is about expanding your access to information as well. It's not about demanding from others, obligating others to give you a job, or playing politics. It's about creating rapport to build relationships, hopefully long-term relationships. Networking is a skill, a best practice that you want to incorporate in your career management strategies. An action plan needs to be developed. Personal accountability is necessary. Effective networking behaviors and habits need to be established and practiced frequently. It is hard work. Too often we put off networking with others using the excuse that we just don't have time. The reality is, though, that in order to be successful, you need to make that time. As with any effective form of communication, networking is a two-way street. It's based on interaction, sharing information, listening. You've heard the old adage, it's better to give than to receive. Nothing could be truer of networking. It needs to be thought of as a mutually beneficial process. At some point, if you've developed a meaningful relationship, you'll be able to give back and help those who have helped you. The power of networking is exploration and discovery about another person. If you continuously use networking as a career management strategy, people will remember you and respect you, and you'll be much more effective in securing referrals for new job opportunities and even for learning about opportunities in the hidden job market. So learn and practice the art of power networking. Become more effective and efficient in gathering information. Be assertive, but be gracious as well. Promote yourself and promote others. Accept support and give support. You'll have better results and improved job performance, and you'll acquire a larger number of more meaningful, supportive relationships. In each and every networking opportunity, you first need a personal introduction that you can use to quickly describe who you are, where you've been, where you want to go. Whether you're introducing yourself in a social situation or a business situation, you need to be able to present yourself confidently. The first step in the process is to craft a written statement. Then practice it out loud so you come across as relaxed. A presentation statement is essentially a brief introduction that you can use to spark interest. Hi, I'm Carrie Lang. I'm a human resources professional and a real people person. I'm in transition right now, and I'm interested in finding a position in a company where I can use my 10 years of experience to identify and recruit top-level talent into management. Sure, there's a lot more you can say about yourself, and depending on where the conversation goes, you might turn a casual conversation into a great source of leads. But just start with a simple, friendly introduction that doesn't overwhelm anyone. Share a resource. After meeting with someone, think about asking if you might email them an interesting article, a link to a favorite website, or a blog related to your career goals. When someone gives you a business card, make a note on the back of the card to remind you where and when you met your new contact. Then send a quick email or a LinkedIn invitation to say you enjoyed meeting them, and encourage your contact to stay in touch. You can periodically send articles that might be of interest. You can also send a quick note when you hear of a conference, a meeting, or a seminar that might be of interest as well. The point is that you should stay in touch and nurture the relationship beyond the first meeting. Another important point, remember to listen more than you talk. When you're introduced to a new person, don't overwhelm them with endless talk about yourself, no matter how eager you are to impress. Listen first and talk later. People always like listeners more than talkers, and you'll impress your new contact more by being an attentive listener than you will be by telling them about yourself too soon. Provide value to your network. The place to begin networking is to approach it with the willingness to give generously of yourself and to practice reciprocity. Start doing the types of things that make you visible and trustworthy to others. For instance, you could join a professional group, tell the people who run it that you're unemployed, and volunteer to work in the office. You could volunteer to speak at a group meeting, or you could volunteer to help the group with its newsletter, for instance. And writing an article is the perfect excuse to call important people in your field. You can do the same thing for local community groups, religious organizations, or your alumni association. Think about asking people what they need the most right now in their own business or career. Then look to see how you might assist with that need in some way. Perhaps you know someone you could introduce them to, or you could share information about a helpful class you took, or maybe you could even refer them some business. Just showing up physically at events is, of course, not enough. You need to make a concerted effort to meet people. That means when you go to a meeting, don't just stand around, have a conversation with the one or two people you already know. Create as many conversations as you can with new people. It also means showing up more than once and giving people the chance to recognize you from the last event. To prepare for a networking meeting, establish a goal. Determine what your goal is for each networking opportunity so that you can create relevant conversations. Check your research. What do you know about the person? LinkedIn is a great place to begin your research on any business professional. If you'll be discussing a particular company or companies within an industry, research the challenges the company or industry is facing so that you can share your ideas. You could be laying the groundwork for a potential interview in the future. Executives are interested in people who can identify and solve their issues. Develop a script. If making a call, develop a script tailored to each situation. Be prepared to leave a message in voicemail if you need to. Bring your tools. When you attend any kind of event, remember to bring your business cards, your resume, or your portfolio. Here are some ideas for finding networking opportunities. Conferences, association meetings, trade shows, seminars. Google your industry by name and then add the words conference, seminar, or association. You're likely to come up with career events in your own geographic location, meetings, seminars sponsored by professional organizations and industry associations, networking groups, both in person and online. Google job support groups and add your geographic location. Now you're likely to come up with a list of great possibilities. Our coaches at Impact Group have seen their participants achieve great success with these groups. They're not only places to broaden your network, but also places to find support among other job seekers. Expand your connections through social networking. Online social networking has brought about new ways to communicate and share information, and it's become an absolutely essential strategy for building a powerful network as well as creating online visibility. LinkedIn is currently the most popular community for connecting business professionals, and Our myIMPACT web portal offers webinars to help you make the most of LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn to reconnect, find people you've lost contact with, including former colleagues. You can use LinkedIn to meet new people, make contact with fellow professionals around the country and around the globe. Support long-distance searches. Make long-distance job searching easier by contacting people in a part of the country where you will be relocating. Explore professional, career development. Learn about a new field that you want to explore. A career change or a new business startup, for example, by finding and connecting with people. Prepare for a job interview. Connect with people who work or have worked at the company you're interviewing with, and learn more about the types of questions you might be asked and the people who will be conducting the interview. Learn about the culture of the company. There's no formal research that will compare with talking to people who have worked at a company of interest and who could tell you what life is like there. Increase your visibility. By adding connections, you increase the likelihood that people will view your profile on LinkedIn and then think of you when they're searching for someone to hire or have an opportunity to do business. Our myIMPACT website also offers a variety of supporting resources and tools for you, including creating an engaging presentation statement, ways to approach informational interviews, sample scripts for networking conversations. We also invite you to join our LinkedIn networking group, Moving Careers Forward. Here are some action steps to commit to and get started on when you finish listening to today's webinar. First, build your target list of potential employers and contacts using D&B Hoovers, available on myIMPACT. Attend our LinkedIn webinars. Learn how to build a robust profile, how to connect and communicate with other business professionals on LinkedIn. Then attend our webinar, Network Your Way into Target Employers, where you'll learn how to use your network contacts and other resources to connect with hiring managers and decision makers at your company of interest. Go outside your comfort zone. Look for opportunities to practice your networking introduction. Commit to making a certain number of contacts per week and keep yourself motivated to keep going. I'd like to thank you for listening to today's webinar on networking strategies and to wish you the best in building a strong network that leads to your next job opportunity.